Hello students. In the last two classes we have discussed about the skeletal framework of the thoracic wall, and we have seen that the skeletal framework of thoracic region is formed by the sternum, ribs, the 12 pair of ribs, and the 12 thoracic vertebrae. And in last two classes we have discussed the general features of the sternum and ribs. Today we will discuss about the muscles of the thoracic wall and the muscles which forms the thoracic wall. The muscles of the thoracic wall include those that fill and support the intercostal spaces and those that pass between the sternum and the ribs, and some thoracic muscles are those that cross several ribs between the costal part. So there are three kinds of muscles found in the thoracic wall. One which fills the gap between the adjacent ribs. Second, that pass between the sternum and the ribs, means that muscles are attached between the sternum and the ribs. And third category is those muscles which pass between the ribs. There are 5 muscles in the thoracic region: external intercostal muscles, internal intercostal muscle, innermost intercostal muscle, subcostals, and transverse thoracis. So these are the 5 muscles in the thoracic wall, and out of these 5 muscles of the thoracic wall, the first 3, that is the external intercostal muscle, internal intercostal muscle, and innermost intercostal muscles, are called as the intercostal muscles. So there are 3 intercostal muscles in the thoracic wall. Students, in this picture you can see the muscles of the thoracic wall. This one is the sternum, the ribs. Posteriorly you can see the thoracic vertebrae. These are the intercostal spaces which are filled with the intercostal muscles. So there are 3 intercostal muscles which fills the intercostal spaces. So the arrangement of these 3 muscles are from outside to inside in the form of external, internal, and innermost intercostal muscle. So the most external, most outside muscle of the thoracic wall in the intercostal space is the external intercostal muscles. In this picture you can see that these are the 3 layers which are shown in between the 2 adjacent ribs. This one is the external intercostal muscle. Beneath the external intercostal muscle you can find the internal intercostal muscle, and beneath the internal intercostal muscle you can find the innermost intercostal muscles. So these 3 muscles lies one to another, deep to one another. So first we will study about the external intercostal muscle. This external intercostal muscle extends from the tubercle of the rib. We have already discussed about the tubercle of the rib. Here in this diagram you can see the tubercle of rib. This one is the tubercle of the first rib. This is the tubercle of the rib. So the external intercostal muscle extends from this tubercle of the rib to the costochondral junction. So this external intercostal muscle which extends from the tubercle of the rib up to the costochondral junction, and between the costochondral junction and the sternum it is replaced by the anterior intercostal membrane or the external intercostal membrane. So in this area you can find the anterior intercostal membrane, not the external intercostal muscle, because external intercostal muscle extends only up to the costochondral junction, up to this line. When you will remove this external intercostal muscle and the anterior intercostal membrane, you can find the internal intercostal muscle. And internal intercostal muscle extends from the lateral border of the sternum to the angle of the rib. Beyond the angle of the rib, it is continuous with the internal intercostal membrane, or you can say the posterior intercostal membrane. So anteriorly in the thoracic wall, you can find the anterior intercostal membrane, which is a continuation of the external intercostal muscle, and posteriorly you can find the posterior intercostal membrane or internal intercostal membrane, which is continuation of the internal intercostal muscle. Now the question arises how you will differentiate between the external intercostal muscle and the internal intercostal muscle. You can differentiate between these two muscles with the help of the direction of the fibers of the muscle. The fibers of the external intercostal muscles runs downward. You can see in this picture the fibers are running downwards, forward and medially, whereas the fibers of the internal intercostal muscles run downwards but not forward but backwards and laterally. So the fibers of the external intercostal muscles runs downwards, forwards and medially, whereas the fibers of the internal intercostal muscles runs downwards, backwards and laterally. So you can say that the fibers of both these muscles run at right angle to each other. Now comes the third layer of muscle, which is formed by the innermost intercostal muscle. This innermost intercostal muscle is the least distinct muscle of the three intercostal muscles, and the fibers of the innermost intercostal muscle have the same direction, same orientation as the internal intercostal muscle. And you can find the innermost intercostal muscle most evident in the lateral wall of the thoracic region. So when the direction and orientation of internal intercostal muscle and the innermost intercostal muscle have same direction, same orientation, so how will you differentiate between these two layers? You can differentiate between these two layers with the help of the neurovascular bundle. You can see in this picture that this one is the neurovascular bundle, this one is the nerve, this one is the artery, intercostal artery, this one is the intercostal nerve, and this one is the intercostal vein. So this neurovascular bundle lies between these two layers. So with the help of this neurovascular bundle, you can differentiate, you can separate the two layers, internal intercostal muscle and inner intercostal muscle, with the help of this neurovascular bundle. Now what is the attachment of the intercostal muscles? So the first one, the external intercostal muscle. The origin of the external intercostal muscle, you can see in this picture that it originates from the lower border of the rib above, and it inserts at the outer lip of the upper border of the rib below. So it extends, or it originates from the rib above, lower border of the rib above, and it is inserts at the upper border of the rib below. Now, what is the attachment of the internal intercostal muscle? This internal intercostal muscle originates from the floor of the costal groove of the rib above, and it inserts at the inner lip of the upper border of the rib below. Whereas this innermost intercostal muscle, it originates from the ridge above the costal groove of the rib above, and it inserts at the inner lip of the upper border of the rib below. Now comes the second kind of muscle which lies in the thoracic wall, which pass between the sternum and the ribs, and these muscles are called as the transverse thoracic muscles. So these transverse thoracic muscles are attached to the sternum on one side, and on the other side these muscles are attached to the ribs. Students, please pay attention to this diagram. This diagram shows the deep surface of the anterior thoracic wall. So this is the posterior surface of the manubrium. This is the posterior surface of the body of the sternum. So this transverse thoracic muscle are found on the deep surface of the anterior thoracic wall. This transverse thoracic muscle originates from the posterior aspect of the xiphoid process, the inferior part of the body of the sternum, and the adjacent costal cartilages of the lower two ribs, means up to the 7th rib. Then they pass superiorly and laterally. They are passing superiorly and laterally to insert into the lower borders of the costal cartilages of the rib third. This one is the third rib, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So they insert at the lower border of the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth rib. Now comes the third kind of muscles which found in the thoracic wall, means the muscles that cross several ribs between the costal attachment, and these muscles are called as the subcostal muscles. Students, please pay attention to this picture. In this picture you can see these muscles. These muscles are the subcostal muscles, and these subcostal muscles span multiple ribs, and they are more evident in the lower region of the posterior thoracic wall. In this picture you can see this is the posterior part of the thoracic region, and these muscles, these subcostal muscles, extend from the internal surface of one rib to the internal surface of the second rib or third rib below. From this diagram you can see that the subcostal muscles runs from the angle of the rib. You can see this is the angle of the rib. So they extend from the angle of the ribs to more medial portion of the rib below to the upper rib, either the just lower rib or 2 or 3 ribs below. Students, in this picture you can see that the neurovascular bundle, which is formed by the posterior intercostal vein, posterior intercostal artery, and the intercostal vein, this neurovascular bundle lies in the upper part of the intercostal space, and it is covered or protected by the costal groove. So in case of pleural effusion, if we want to tap the pleural fluid from the pleural cavity, we can puncture the pleural cavity from the lower part of the intercostal space to avoid the injury of the neurovascular bundle. So pleural, in case of pleural centesis, we use the lower part of the intercostal space. Now, what is the action of the intercostal muscles? The main action of the intercostal muscles is to prevent intercostal spaces being drawn in during inspiration or from bulging outwards during expiration. And the external intercostal muscle elevate the ribs during inspiration, whereas the internal intercostal muscle may depress the ribs or cartilages during the expiration. So external intercostal muscles are most active in inspiration, whereas the internal intercostal muscles are most active during the expiration. So students, this is all about the muscles of the thoracic wall. Hope this lecture will benefit you in understanding of the muscles of the thoracic wall. Thank you.